Hi, this is Bill with Titletown Drones. In this video, I'm going to compare two drones that are very popular for public safety and commercial use. On the left, I have the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, and on the right, I have the Autel Evo 2 Enterprise. My goal today is to help you understand the pros and cons of each of these units and help you decide which one of these might be the best fit for your operations. So I'm going to start by talking about the similarities of these two systems, and then I'm going to talk about the differences. So let's get started. Let's start first with the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. This is the second version of this aircraft. It's been around for a couple of years. The first version was the Dual, which had a lower resolution thermal camera. The Advanced has a high resolution 640 by 512 thermal sensor. The case is a typical Pelican style hard case, watertight case. The kit that you get initially includes just the one battery, so just the one battery in the drone. Then you can, of course, buy additional batteries, as many as you need. It also includes the smart remote controller, which is about a 5.5 inch display. The brightness on that display is roughly 1000 nits, so about maybe twice as bright as your typical iPhone. And then, of course, you get the accessories. So we have a strobe, and then we have this speaker, and then we have an AC charger, and then there's some instruction books and such. There's a little cover in there for the accessory port. And then, of course, the other third accessory is this searchlight. In this case here, we have the accessory tray, and then you just have room for up to 3 more batteries in there. It also does come with a USB-C charging brick and a USB-C cable, AC cord, and then 2 extra propellers. And then over here we have the Autel kit. Now this unit is a larger display. This is also Autel's version of the smart remote controller. Of course, we have the aircraft, and I have the searchlight installed on the aircraft at this time. And then we have this accessory tray over here. Now this is an extra option. This is an RTK module for the GPS. DJI also offers that. Then we have a speaker, and then we also have the strobe. So the accessories are very similar. In the kit, you also have place for your accessories, instructions, etc. This one comes with a 3-point harness that goes on to the remote controller, and then a 4-port charging bank, which interfaces with your AC adapter. You have one extra complete full set of props, so 4 more props, where the DJI kit had just the 2, and then a total of 3 batteries in this kit. So then underneath this little tray, we have both a 12-volt adapter, and we also have an AC adapter. So that is the Autel kit. So the things that make them similar is that they, of course, both have a smart controller. They both have the accessories, and they both have a similar resolution thermal imaging system. The optical camera also is very similar in its capabilities. However, they function just a little bit differently in the remote controller, which you'll see shortly. Okay, now we'll talk about some of the differences. First, of course, you can see one of the major differences is the size. And also being a larger airframe, which means we have a larger battery. Battery capacity is greater on the Autel. So the capacity of the Autel battery on the left is 7100 milliamp hours, and the DJI battery is 3850. And that translates to longer flight times. And if you're using any of these accessories like the searchlights, of course, you're going to get longer usage of those. Okay, one difference that I did want to point out is the way that the battery attaches. So these just pop in from the top. And one disadvantage of that system is if you ever do have a battery that becomes defective and starts to swell, these can actually pop out. It's rare that it happens, but it can happen. Where you have this design where the battery slides in from the back, and there's no way, that battery's going to pop out. So even if it were to swell, that's not going to force the battery out. So maybe a little bit more secure. Another difference in these two aircraft is the DJI does have obstacle avoidance, but their system and their sensors are just a little bit different. So they have an infrared sensor on the top, like if you're getting under an obstruction, like maybe a bridge or a building or something like that. That has a little bit shorter range. It does have optical sensors looking forward and backward, left and right, and down. So it does technically have 360-degree obstacle avoidance. However, the Autel unit has a little bit better, I think, obstacle avoidance system. So Autel is using optical sensors all the way around. And of course, in addition to the sonar type of sensors or the ultrasound sensors on the bottom, we do have dual landing lights here. We also do have dual landing lights here on the bottom. Both of these accept a micro SD memory card. Both units also do have onboard memory as well. So if you were to forget your card or your card fills up, you do have the option of onboard memory. The Autel here also has access for a micro SD card on the side. Okay, the next major difference that I want to point out are the remote controllers. So on the left-hand side, you have the DJI Smart Controller. This unit does have about a 5.5-inch screen. On the right, we have the Autel Smart Controller, which has roughly 7.9-inch screen, so a much larger display. If you are out doing search and rescue operations, the larger screen is nice to look at. It's easier for you, the viewer, to detect things. However, the smaller unit is more portable and maybe easier to hang on to for longer periods of time just because it's lighter. So let's fire both of these up. Now the Autel unit, you'll notice that these antennas can actually come off. So these are SMA connectors, and you can actually cable this remote to an external antenna. So if you were going to use this, say in a command post or something like that, you could actually cable this out to a larger antenna to get increased range. You can swap these antennas out easy enough just by unscrewing them. There is a port on the top that accepts HDMI. This is your charging port here for USB-C, USB-A. So the sticks on both of these are removable. You just simply unscrew them. DJI's remote, you can actually just tuck the screws right into the back. They do give you an extra set inside of your kit. Okay, so looking at the top of the DJI remote, we have Legacy USB-A. We do have a port for a micro SD card, which affords you some additional storage on this device. So that is a feature that this remote has that the Autel remote does not have. So the Autel uses built-in storage, where this also has built-in storage, but you have the option of using that extra micro SD card. And of course we have an HDMI port on the top, so you can cable this out to an external monitor. So the DJI remote has a fixed antenna, so that is not replaceable by the user. So let's go ahead and launch. Okay, so the aircraft is idling right now. Okay, so we are 200 out and 150 up. We are in the optical mode right now, so I'm going to switch over to infrared. And there's our infrared. And then the other option, instead of picture-in-picture, this one does a split screen. So we have our thermal imaging on the left, we have our optical image on the right. So just a little different way of doing that. And my control for my searchlight is up there. And to change the brightness of that, I actually have to go into this sub-menu here, and then I have to slide this slider to change that value in there for the searchlight. So they do the searchlight just a little bit different. So let's see if I can't see that up in the air. So we'll do this at night just to be fair, because daytime looking at a light like that isn't real valuable. All right, so there is our two different points of view with these remotes. Okay, one other thing I wanted to explain is how you could tether this thing to an external display. So in this case, I have an HDMI cable plugged into the top of the DJI remote. That cable is plugged into this 24-inch TV, and that TV is actually being powered by a Jackery Explorer 500 power unit that has an AC adapter built in. So I can run the television almost all day on that power unit. That's a 500 watt unit. So that makes for a nice option for command post. However, you are tethered with the cable. So the Autel remote, we have our standard sticks. Again, these are removable. You do get an extra set of these in with the kit, and you can store those sticks by screwing them into this aluminum handle. This remote also has a 1/4-20 threaded insert for a standard tripod, and this is actually a removable shell on the outside that gives you a little bit better grip for your hands. So that's a nice little extra feature. Of course, the remote control does, again, on the left hand side you have your wheel to control the angle of your gimbal, and on the right you can use this to control your zoom and access some of the other features. We have programmable buttons on the top, C1 and C2, to access some of the other features of the aircraft. Okay, let's have a look at this display as we take off. Okay, we're at about 100 feet right now. So now I'm going to switch over to thermal. Okay, so there's my thermal image. Looks like I'm using that iron bow color palette right now, but we've got a number of other ones that we can use. Oops. Okay, and then we also have picture in picture. Now this unit also does have the radiometric capabilities, and you just saw an aircraft warning, so I do have a manned aircraft nearby. So this unit is equipped with ADS-B. And then down here I have my control interface for that searchlight, so I can turn that on. And let's see if we can't have a look up there. The sky, where that thing is, that is a very powerful searchlight. Okay, so we've got the display port plugged in with an HDMI cable on top of the Autel remote, and then we've got that attached to a 24-inch TV up here, and we've got the TV being powered by a Jackery power station. So this is a really nice option for search and rescue. You could put somebody on that screen to assist the pilot, and they can alert the pilot if they see something of interest. The pilot, of course, is focused on operating the aircraft and has a smaller display, so sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for the pilot to see what's going on the large display. The displays are quite a bit different. The DJI remote is a 5.5-inch display. The Autel remote is close to an 8-inch display. The DJI display is roughly 1,000 nits in terms of brightness, and then the Autel remote is quite a bit brighter at 2,000 nits. So this one here, a little more comfortable to say you could see this in broad daylight and sunlight. This one you can see, but you may want a sunshade or something like that to keep the glare off the screen. The other thing I wanted to point out about the Autel is all of these flight modes. Now this is something that really is missing from the DJI pilot app. So you have manual flight, and then you can of course do these mission flights. So you can create, mapping missions and such, which are great, for search and rescue, or you can do a linear flight mission or waypoints. So that's all well and good. The Autel can do a mission flight and create your mapping missions if you want to do a lawnmower pattern, etc., and to define the area you want to search. However, when you go into the standard flight modes here and touch this, you get all these extra options, and one in particular is orbit. You can do a smart orbit, which basically you do shape recognition, and the drone will try to orbit around that object, say it's a car or something like that, or the traditional orbit where you just fly the drone over a particular spot, and then it records the GPS coordinates of that, and it will just fly a circle around that. So that and some other tracking types of flight modes, panorama, just gives you a lot more options for these flight modes, where the pilot app is really pared down, has just some really basic functionality in there, where the Autel gives you a lot more capabilities. So I really do like that a lot. A lot of the agencies I work with are always asking about that orbit mode. They maybe want to set up on a house or a car or a parcel of land or something, and they just want to orbit it while it's in Overwatch, and you would have to pre-program in waypoints into this one, where this one you can just set that up automatically. So some really nice options there. Okay, I just wanted to show you the area that I'm walking in right now, so you have a little bit of perspective of what the camera's capabilities are. How about that, huh? I think Black Hot is one of the better color palettes for searching for people. So there's the drone right there above that tree. You can see that. All right, let's do the same test that we just did. We'll walk around in that woods out there. Okay, we had good luck with the Autel walking around inside the woods. Now we're flying the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise 200 to 300 feet away. We'll search through a couple of different color palettes as we go here, just to give it a fair test. Enough to be obscured by the naked eye. If you were just walking around in here with plain clothing, I don't think someone would see you very easily. It's kind of a cloudy fall day today. This is the environment that we're in right here. Okay, it looks like I have the gain set to high right now. I don't know if that makes a difference. Not really. Oh yeah, that made it wash out a little bit more. Got to put the gain back on high. There it is. Yeah, so you gotta have the gain on high for this temperature environment that I'm in right now. Okay, we're just going to swap the accessory port out here from the searchlight over to the speaker on the DJI aircraft. And again, the aircraft is powered on, so we are hot swapping this, which is allowed. Just make sure that those thumb screws are tight. We don't want to lose this thing. And then I like to angle the speaker down just a little bit so it's at a more natural angle. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the pad. See, okay, so my speaker icon is this, or this little microphone icon is right there. Okay, so there's 100 up and 200 out. Now we're going to do our test. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, it's audible, but not very loud. So now I'm going to go 300 out. Let's try that again. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, I could hear it. I couldn't hear very well what was being said. So if I was being rescued right now and there was some noise around me, I'm not sure I would have heard what was being said to me. So it looks like 300 feet is about the maximum range of this speaker system here. Okay, we're going to swap out the accessory with the speaker, and then we're going to do a comparison test with these two systems. Now I'm going to try it while it's powered on to see if I can hot swap this. The DJI aircraft I can hot swap with, but this one I don't know. I might have to power down the aircraft and restart it. Looks like the microphone option did come up on the display after I connected this here, so let's have a look here. So there's the microphone icon. So I can touch that, and there's my instant broadcast, or I can play a saved audio file there. So we'll just do a test here real quick. Hang on, help is on the way. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, that's loud. All right, so let's blast off and try this up in the air. All right, so 100 up and 200 out. Let's do the test. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, I could clearly hear that, no problem at all. Okay, another test. So we're 300 feet out and 100 feet up. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, clearly heard that, 300 feet away. Let's do 400. 400 feet out, 100 up. New test. Hang on, help is on the way. Okay, 400 feet out, no problem hearing that whatsoever. So I don't want to get too much further than that right now, but 400 feet, very effective range, no problem at all hearing that. So you can hear the obstacle avoidance sort of kicking in here, slowing me way down. So let's come on in, let's get over that pad, and let's drop her down. Thanks for sticking around for the duration of that video. I hope you found the information useful, but there still may be some questions that you have. Which one of these units is the best fit for you or your agency? So I thought what I'd do is go through a list of the features of each unit, and maybe that'll help you decide which one is the best fit. So let's start first with the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced. So what are some reasons that you might pick this unit? The first might be proven reliability. It's been around for several years. The Mavic 2 Airframe is a tried and true airframe. The video transmission system is excellent and has a proven record of reliability. The Mavic 2 Enterprise is priced at $6,500 for the base unit. Extra batteries and a bank charger will get you right around $7,100, so it's less expensive than the Autel. The batteries are self-heating. If you get out into a cold environment and you go to fire this thing up and the batteries are cold, it actually has a heating circuit inside, so the DJI aircraft has that feature. The Autel does not. I've noticed when you zoom in the optical camera, the zoom is a little bit smoother than it is on the Autel. The Autel tends to zoom in increments, where the DJI aircraft is a little bit more seamless in the way that it zooms. The DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced comes with something called Enterprise Shield Basic, which gets you 2 replacements in the first year. If you crash it, damage it, something happens to it, you can get it replaced twice. There is a deductible, but the cost of the deductible is much less than purchasing a new unit. At this point in time, Autel doesn't currently offer that. Okay, so what are some reasons you might choose the Autel over the DJI? The first being it's a larger airframe, it has larger motors, has more lift capability, and longer flight times. The battery system is a larger battery, so you have increased capacity. The airframe is orange. It's very easy to see in the sky. The larger airframe also allows you to add extra capabilities, such as the Foxy Exolander payload delivery device or the spotlight feature. The DJI aircraft, being a smaller aircraft, can handle an Exolander frame with some lighting, but the airframe is too small to carry a payload, so you would lose the capability of being able to use this as a payload delivery system. Another advantage of the Autel, especially if you're working in the public safety field, is geo-restrictions. Autel does not impose geo-restrictions, meaning it will not prevent you from taking off in and around airports. It may warn you that you're in controlled airspace, but it will not prevent you from operating. On the other hand, DJI imposes their own fly-safe protocol, which means you would have to unlock that first. We discovered in our test that the speaker system on the Autel had a longer range. You could hear it from further away. It was more clearly audible. Autel's smart remote controller has a larger screen. It's twice as bright as the DJI. It's easier to see. In addition, Autel's application includes extra options for advanced flight modes, such as orbit. And their kit includes a 4-port battery charger, which would be an extra purchase for the DJI unit. The Autel unit also includes a 12-volt adapter in their kits. I'll be producing a more detailed video in the future about the Foxy series of the Exolander, the searchlight, and the payload delivery devices. These are now available for the Autel and for the DJI Mavic series. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of these. It's just a matter of trying to find the best fit for what you're trying to do and to fit your budget. I hope you found this video useful. You can help me by leaving a comment and telling me what you thought of the video and if there's other information that you would like me to make videos about. If you have any questions at all, shoot me an email at info@TitletowndRones.com, or you can visit my website at TitletowndRones.com. If you're interested in more specific pricing information, contact me. I'll put together a formal quote for you. I do a lot of business with police departments, fire departments, government agencies, and also commercial service providers. So if you have any questions at all, you need anything else, please get a hold of me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.